Ladies and gentlemen, this is Michael Akahane, and tonight I'm bringing you end of a Simulcast commentary. Today we're going to look at Shirogane no Ishi no Agrevollen. Well, first question to be answered is, what is Agrevollen? Well, it's an anime and it's a mecha anime. Well, which features a lot of mecha fights. If you imagine something along the lines of Gundam, you're a bit mistaken. There are no laser beams, no flying machines. It's, well, it's less modern. I mean, it uses something which could be described as a 21st century tech. I mean, real century, because I think we would be able to pull off that stuff right now with current Earth technology without much problem. Because the trail kriegers, or how they call the machines, are, well, from the looks of it, are, I mean, not so advanced. I mean, the most advanced machine in the series is Agrevollen itself. So, which has this cool neural link feature, which is probably the only science fiction thing in it. Or, yeah, or if you, I mean, why do I don't call mecha as a science fiction? Because, I mean, we're already perfectly capable of doing that. We already have one possibly combat ready one, which would be Kuratas. I mean, but for the reason the developer or the designer or and the father of Kuratas described, they are not so viable in the combat because of how we handle our combat currently. Yeah, but so the only thing sci-fi-ish would be the U-Link system or the neural interface system, which makes a lot of things in there. So yeah, from the story point of view, the story was, I mean, was exciting from time to time. The battles were quick paced and, I mean, usually one-sided. I mean, every time Arjavelin appeared, it was, I mean, one-sided slaughter. So, uh, so on that point, it wasn't that written, that well written. I mean, or I didn't find that particularly enjoyable, at least. I mean, uh, character development in Arjavelin. Uh, through most of the series, meaning first, what, 18 episodes, the characters are pretty much the same. No development whatsoever. Uh, the development of characters starts to appear in virtually the last couple of episodes, and the shifts are huge. So, I mean, probably the biggest one uh, would be, what was her name? The Captain Suzushiro. She's gone from this obedient second in command to somebody who's able to talk back, and yeah, I mean, she that's the probably the most developed character, or I mean, the most changed one. Through the story, nothing has more changed. It was more of a story than about the characters. I'm currently borrowing it from somebody who mentioned it on the forum. It was more of a story of two countries in a war, uh, and and the episode of war breaking out, or let's rephrase it: two countries in non-ending war, and this was just one episode of the non-ending wars, because again, the whole thing ended with a truce. So the best to describe it would be, if we look at the real world, look at the Koreas. I mean, they're still at war. Nobody knows that they're. I mean, a lot of people don't think they are still at war, but that's a fact that there's been no peace treaty signed. It's just a truce treaty on, and yeah, they're in truce, and the war state is still going on. And Agrevollen is pretty much the same, and it just says the story tells the story. The war breaks out, we take the land, we reclaim it, we take it, we reclaim it, and yeah, that's more from that perspective. I must say, I would like to quote the person who mentioned it on the forum, but I don't have it open before me, and before I would find the post, it would take me a long, long time. But I think that idea is a really good one. So, and that's the best way to describe the story or to describe the series. It's a story about two countries in a war. So yeah. Um, as usually, I would say, I would mention my favorite characters. I do not have one in Agrevollen series because there has not been enough character interaction, or the characters seemed quite shallow to me. There was really nothing, just didn't feel good, or how to put it. So I didn't grow fond of a character. No, I grew a particular distaste for any because, I mean, it's like when you walk on the street and you say, "Oh, I hate this person. I like this person. That's my arch enemy." It's just like, no, it doesn't work like that. I mean, it's just like, oh, a great person, a great person, a great person, unknown person. Yeah, sure. I mean, and that's the feeling I get from the Argivolden characters. So it was disappointing for me on that part that the characters were quite shallow. Uh, I personally do not know if I would be able to. Well, that's now because I'm a writer, and some people would ask me, how would you fix it? Well, that's the good part. That's the good thing. I don't know. I mean, it just came out that way. And probably it's because of the fact it's a story. I really have to view the story. I mean, I read it on the last episode forum, so I've actually watched the whole thing and didn't see this comment until I finished the episode, or the very last episode, and I had to agree with it, that this story is not about the characters or the people involved in the war, but about the countries in the war. So, so yeah. I mean, what else is there to take to talk about? Yeah, probably I would mention to not to put too much of a bad light on Argivollen because it wasn't that bad of a series. It was mediocre, so I mean, it wasn't great, it wasn't bad. The good stuff was animation. I mean, how they handled the battles, how they handled a lot of stuff. It was, I would say, really good. So, and yeah, and I haven't seen anything sloppy or just something which seemed really out of place. And yeah, I must say it was quite good on the design part. So yeah. Anything else? I mean, yeah, I mean, it was airing on on Crunchyroll, so you still can find it there. I think the license will hold for some time. So if you're interested in the series, despite these comments, I must say I would still, if you are into not so character heavy stories, and it's more about the ideas behind the whole story. Argivollen would be a good recommendation, but if you are more into stories where really characters are core of the story, I cannot give you my recommendation for Argivollen. So yeah. Okay, thank you folks for listening, and this has been Michael Akahane, and keep tuned for more series or for more commentaries on the now finishing series. If you like this video, please hit like, subscribe, and follow us on the Facebook page. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.